British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell has been found guilty of helping the late financier Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse teenage girls. Maxwell has been convicted on 5 of 6 counts after 5 full days of deliberations by a jury in the US state of New York. North America correspondent Barbara Miller is following developments from New York and she joins us now. Barbara, take us through this verdict.
Well, as you said, Joe, on all but one of the counts, the jury, the 12-person jury, found Ghislaine Maxwell guilty. Essentially, they found that between the years of 1994 and 2004, she helped recruit, groom and abuse girls as young as the age of 14 with the financier Jeffrey Epstein. That was based mainly on the testimony of 4 women who came before this court to say that they had been groomed and abused by Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, the most serious charge, a sex trafficking charge, count 6, carries alone a 40-year maximum jail sentence. If you add the maximum sentences for all 5 on which she's been found guilty together, you get to 65 years. Now, most legal experts don't think that she'll see a sentence that long, but given that she was found guilty on this 40-year maximum sentence charge, and given that she turned 60 at the weekend, Ghislaine Maxwell could be facing the rest of her life in jail.
And Barbara, you've watched this trial closely. Just take us through in a bit more detail. What was the strength of the evidence against her?
It was based on the accounts of these 4 women who came to court. Now, there wasn't any, these are historical sex abuse cases. There wasn't CCTV footage. There wasn't text messages. It was really the word of these women. And what the defence tried to do was to pick holes in the testimonies of these women. They said there were inconsistent stories that they had told over the years. They called a memory expert, a psychologist, Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, who said that memories could be reconstructed over time. And the defence said that Ghislaine Maxwell had been inserted into these women's memories, and they accused them of doing that in part because they wanted to get money from a fund that was set up for victims using Jeffrey Epstein's estate. The jury clearly didn't accept that argument. They accepted the prosecution's case that Ghislaine Maxwell was a dangerous predator who, in the words of the prosecution, was in on the whole thing, was key to the operation, normalised, if you like, contact with a middle-aged man, normalised sexual contact with them, and abused and paid these girls for that abuse in part.
And how did Ghislaine Maxwell react when the verdict came down?
Very calmly. She took off her mask a couple of times to take sips of water that she poured herself. I couldn't discern that her hands were shaking as she did that. She wasn't actually asked to stand as the verdict was read out. The jury was dismissed pretty quickly after the verdict was read out, and Ghislaine Maxwell was led out of court. She didn't try to engage with her siblings in the front row. 3 of her siblings were in court. A very brief touching of her legal team, with whom she's been very, very tactile over the past month that this trial's been going on. And she went calmly. She was composed and she was led away. Sentencing, when the sentencing will be, has yet to be determined, but she's back tonight behind bars.
Okay, Barbara Miller reporting there from New York City.